And as promised, here is gate to Valtan and how to do it. However, for this one, I would be using remaining energy. And also, I'm going to do a really unique way for this one, and I want reviews on it. I want you guys to tell me which one did you like. Did you like the first video where I talked over in the editing, or this one where I would talk and highlight like while watching the video? So let's start first by battle items. You would need pots, you would need stopwatch, dark nades, and you would need sprinter robe if you're low eye levels, since you would be using Tyrene. However, if you're overgeared, you would not need dark nade and you would not need sprinter robe, since you would use Baltor for a mechanic I'm gonna show later. So before I start the video, the first thing you would want to do at the start is make sure Valtan targets all pillars that have orbs on top of them. And the reason behind it is because these orbs have two jobs. They work as a protective shield for your character from a wipe mechanic that is coming, and I'm gonna highlight it when I show it. And they also fill up the sidereal meter really fast. So you would want to use them to get Tyrene fast and to have a protection from the wipe mechanic. As you can see, sadly we did not get him to hit the pillar with the orb, but thankfully he got it with the spin. So now that's all you should prioritize, making him hit the pillars and gathering orbs. As you can see, here is the last pillar, and now we have Tyrene. And after you see that you have Tyrene available, make him target one pillar, and after it use Tyrene to break armor and get to actually play the raid, since this is just like breaking armor phase. And as you can see, I have my cursor here between me and the boss. The reason behind that is because Tyrene would always start from your cursor and upwards. So if you use Tyrene here, for example, you're going to miss because it would go this way. That's why you should always use it between you and the boss. So at this zone is where you should use Tyrene. And you might notice I have 3 orbs here. And the reason behind it is because I already filled Tyrene. If you have Tyrene available, you don't need to be picking up orbs anymore. Just wait till you use it, then go and pick up the orbs, since they will give you just a little bit extra meter after using Tyrene. And here, like this is the wipe mechanic. As you can see, Valtan highlighted some areas that are red zones, like this, and you have to dodge them and get to the gray zone, since it's the safe one. And you should not get hit by his attack, because if you stand in the red zone and get hit, it's going to kill, that attack is not going to kill you, but this one, the next one, would wipe you. For this mechanic, just make sure the red zone is at the middle. And make sure both these pillars are safe spots, since you see none of the pillars are inside the red zone. Therefore, I can use both. So I can just keep moving like this and just jump here if it's safer, or jump here if it's safer. It doesn't matter. And for this mechanic, Valtan will do 3 counters. Make sure to not counter the first one and not counter the second one. However, they will damage you, so make sure to pot here. And then counter this one. You have to counter this one, because if you don't, it will wipe you. And stopwatch does not stop it, so it's a must counter. And only the third one. And don't try any silly stuff like taking 2 counters and trying to counter the second and the third, because after you counter you get silence, so you only get 1 counter. And you don't need to stress it, just wait for him turn blue. It's not a tight counter, so you don't need to do it like to time it perfectly. However, this one, you need to time it perfectly. Like this one, you can't wait till he turns blue. You have to launch your counter before, and you can do it two ways. You can either like hear he screams and use counter like after the second scream, or this is what I usually use if you want to use a visual one, is notice how Voltan is like breathing normally, and then he does this vibration as if he has anal beads. With this one, like after he does the vibration, just use your count. That's what I did here, but since sadly for this whole boss I had input lag, like he didn't register, so I failed it. And you don't have to worry, because even after failing, you don't die, you just receive damage. And for this mechanic, this one is really easy. I don't know why people still feel it till this day, and I think most people don't know how to do it. Basically for this one, you have portals that spawn in order, and Voltan will take every portal by order. So as you can see, this one, this big one, spawned first. Therefore, Voltan would go through this one, so you have to dodge this whole line. And this one spawned second, which means Voltan would go through it like after he goes through this one. So it's just a memory game. However, if you have bad memory, I will give you a tip. If you notice, these portals are small in size and this one is really big. The reason is because the first portal that spawns expand faster, so it gets bigger than the others. So just dodge the big portals, because those are the one Voltan is going to use. And I don't want to see you guys getting hit by this anymore. Also, one thing to note, sadly there are two mechanics that Voltan did not do in my run. First one is this orb mechanic, where he spawns 4 orbs in the map like this, and there will be one here and each one at the corner of the map. I only found this image in Google, so I'm gonna tell you how to do it. Basically, you take one orb, and after it, Voltan would have a counter window. You have two options. You either dodge the counter and then you stopwatch, or you get the counter and you stopwatch. So that's the usage of stopwatch. In my run, I did not get to use it, sadly, but this is how you do it. The other one is the freeze. That one, there is nothing really to do, except like if you're overgeared, you don't need to care about it. However, if you're low eye level, the only advice you need is stay above 50% HP, and that's it. And for this one, make sure to dodge the first hit with spacebar, and then dark axle away to safety. That's the most optimal way to do this one. And do not take any counters, like it's too risky, since it can make you full die. And this one, you just have to stand behind him to the left and make sure to not DPS him. And again, you go behind him to the left and you stop DPSing. Here, this is why I told you, you don't need Swift Robe if you're overgeared, since you can give up Tyrene and use Baltor here. However, if you're low eye level and you don't have enough damage, I will give you a tip. Save the sidereal till this phase, and if you have 40 seconds on the clock and you have not gotten Voltan to 16 HP bar yet, just use Tyrene to get him to this HP bar. If you're overgeared, you will not have this problem. You can use Baltor to save Swift Robe, and that's what I did it here. Like, I don't really need it. And I didn't even need to dodge like when you use Baltor, you don't need to do any dodging. You just stand in one place and you're just gonna receive a little bit of damage and that's it. You don't need to do any stuff. But here, I still did it to show you how to do it in case you didn't use Baltor. Voltan, when he spawns, he would always target your position first. So since I was originally here, I just spacebarred this way. and he would always do the first one in front, the second one behind him. So just stand to the side, and after he does this pattern, he's gonna do this pattern, and you have to go back to your original place. And take one position at the map, and after he does these punches in the ground, like use Swift Robe and go in a circle. However, here you only go straight to this place if you used Baltar. If you didn't, go here behind this pillar to dodge the explosion that would happen. Then you can, after dodging it, go to this safe zone. You can only come here if you use Baltar, since Baltar saves you from everything basically. And if you notice, when I was dodging the punches that he did on the ground, I got some red numbers, which means they attacked them, they hit me. Which means that if you don't use Swift Robe, you're gonna get hit. However, getting hit doesn't necessarily mean you will fall die, but it will knock you down, which would increase the chances of you falling. And for Ghost Phase, he would spawn with 4 armors, and the only way to remove his armor if you counter these ghosts that he spawns. So as you can see, I'm going to counter, and this is why it's really important to not use your counter for damage here. If you do it, you're trolling. So save your counter for the ghost. Never use it for damage. And this is why I prefer remaining in this phase. And as you can notice here, I didn't have my counter, so I had to dodge away the ghost attack. So if you happen to have this situation, all you need to do is dodge to this safe area. The reason behind it is because when the ghost does his attack, you notice how it's in a straight line, then it goes like this. It's always in this shape. So this whole place is safe. So you need to go to it. Or you can use Awakening, or you can use Surge to gain push immunity. However, in this case, I can't do that because he did something really crazy. I don't have counter, so I can't counter him. And if I get hit by his attack, I would fall die. And I also have to dodge the Valtan like grab. This grab, it's a wipe if you get hit by it. So you must dodge it. That's the reason why I didn't use Surge or Awakening to gain push immunity for the ghost attack, because if I did that, I would be hit by this grab. So I use spacebar to go to safety and at the same time dodging the grab. And this is the reason why I like remaining is better for this phase, since you perma have Earth Cleaver, so you can always get to counter. And yeah, and I will just keep repeating and repeating till I kill him.